All right, this is the Bits for You, episode 34. I'm Robert, and episode 34 is special because it's the same number as my age. I'm not 34, right? Oh wait, I'm 35. My fiance just told me, but let's not tell him that. I'll tell him that later. I'll edit it out or something. Why are you laughing? Yeah, so 34 is a great number for me, as I mentioned. And in this episode, we have something a partnership with the guys over at Meet the Gamers. It's a global social network for gamers, game developers, and streamers. This is the place where players become gamers. Our main goal is to promote esports games and to create a strong connection between games and IT brands. Meet the Gamers was launched in March of 2017. Members of Meet the Gamers social network can meet and play, stay in touch with gamers around the world, create their amazing gaming profile. Meet the Gamers team is fully motivated to build the global chain of union of the gamers. Right now, Meet the Gamers started a supreme global contest with the help of some strategic partners like Tesoro, WASD and esports clothing. The prizes are first prize, WASD Super Gaming PC plus Tesoro Zone Balancing Gaming Chair. Second prize is the Tesoro Gram Spectrum keyboard. Third prize is Tesoro Sagitta mouse. And a bonus prize is the winners will receive a personalized jersey t-shirt with the Meet the Gamers logo from esports clothing. The price value is about $1,500 US. So check out the Meet the Gamers at the meetthegamers.com. You could also find them through there on their social media like Instagram and Twitter, etc. More information is on their website. So just wanted to mention them. These guys are really cool, how they're growing the social network for gamers so they can meet, check stats all around the world. And yeah, that's it for now. I'm recording this on the iPhone. Had a little issue with the mic, so hopefully it comes out okay. In this episode, we talk about Javier gives us an update on Sonic Mania, our thoughts on Nintendo Direct, Final Fantasy 15, and a bit about some sponsors in that game. Apple iPhone 8 and the iPhone 10. Hellboy reboot and some backlash over a role. And finally, our thoughts on Stephen King's It. Finally, we're able to see it. We didn't see it opening weekend because down here because of the Hurricane Irma. And we talk about the premiere episode of South Park. All right, I'll be quiet now so you guys can enjoy. Now live on the Bits for You podcast with Javier and Robert. Javier, a lot of people want to know because a lot of people have been asking on social media and people that I know closely. What is the deal with the last time you and I recorded? It's been like two and a half weeks because of the Hurricane Irma that kind of fucked things up for me down here in South Florida. Sonic Mania. The last time we talked, it was still pending. You were still kind of debating, oh shit, should I cancel it? Maybe not, maybe not. Give us an update. Did you finally get this?
Yeah, actually, Amazon was tweeting back at me because I was complaining.
Yeah, and I saw that you put a hashtag Amazon and they tweeted you.
Yep.
So what happened? Tell us. You tweeted them or they tweeted you?
Yeah, basically it was saying, basically was kind of blaming UPS a little bit here, and basically UPS was delayed for some reason. I don't even know. I think it was something about the plane being late or something. But yeah, I finally got it. I posted a YouTube video of the opening, unboxing of the collector's edition. Yes, an unboxing that's like 3 or 4 weeks behind.
3 weeks behind. Actually, after this recording, I think it's 4 weeks. This is week 4.
Yeah, so I finally released it. I said finally. I released it. I got it finally.
But
yeah,
you actually
yes.
got the game, I would say, like close to 3 weeks after the official release date.
Yeah, that's probably about right.
Around that, maybe a little less than 3 weeks, but I know it was definitely between the 2 and 3 week mark.
Yeah.
What made you hold out so long for that?
I had games to play. I was still playing Mario, Rabbids, Kingdom Battle, Final Fantasy 15, Splatoon 2. I still had plenty of games to go through, so I wasn't in a rush. And I was like, maybe I'll get it, because if it got to the time where I could play it, then yeah, I would have canceled it.
And then, did you get this last week? Was it? Or
yeah, whatever date I posted the video, I got it.
And when they said shipped, and you were waiting for it to arrive, and it arrived the following day after you started tweeting with Amazon.
Basically.
Okay. So how is it having the Sonic? How was having the Sega Genesis? What is it, like a miniature model of the Genesis with Sonic on the top?
I wouldn't say it's miniature. It's like the same size as the Sega Genesis.
Oh, it's actual size. Oh, I thought it was miniature or something.
No, the box is pretty big. I don't think the picture does it justice. The Genesis is about the same size as the real one. And there's a big statue of the plastic mold of Sonic on top of it. And then you press a button and it says Sega.
So when all said and done, $69, was it worth it?
Yeah, I think it was worth it. Just for the statue alone, that little collector's piece is something I can see worth a lot more later. Not that I'm going to sell it. It's just, this is not something they're going to mass produce and sell it. And it's kind of neat, kind of something that you put in your gaming room. Because when I get a house, I'm planning to actually have a gaming room. This is one of those things that would be there.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So word.
Sonic Mania finally in your hands. Now, did you actually play the game?
I did.
And from what you played, what are your thoughts?
A very good game. This is a Sonic game that should have come a long time ago. This is basically built on top of 1 and 2, kind of. Maybe I don't remember playing 3 very much, but it, like, some of the stages is like, I remember the very first stage is basically a repeat of the first one,
right?
From Sonic 1, but it adds on top of it, and and then as you progress, and each area has its own boss too. So and there's fun things to do in the level, like in the second one, I forget the name of the level. It's I don't know why I forgot. So you played
you played a couple of levels already?
Yeah, like the water, you turn into like some plastic mode, rubbery mode, and then you bounce on top of it. It's kind of cool. Like, every stage is, so far I played, is well thought out, and all the boss fights have been pretty cool. Very retro Sonic, and it feels like they improved on it. So let's say a lot.
Now, trivia on the game. I read, and maybe you've read it too, or maybe not, but I remember reading that this was started off as a Kickstarter by some fans that eventually got Steam, and then Sega got a hold of them, or they got a hold of Sega, and they got their support.
Oh, actually, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised.
I believe it started as a Kickstarter. A lot of hardcore Sega fans were loved the Sonic game from 91, 92, 90. Well, they all from between 91 and 94. We got 4 Sonic games: Sonic 1, 2, 3, and then Sonic and Knuckles. And these fans, when I remember reading, if I'm misled, people can always correct us on the email or Twitter. But it was a Kickstarter, and they eventually somehow got a hold of Sega. Sonic Team then got involved, and they, I guess because legal reasons and maybe to avoid lawsuits, Sonic was like, okay, well, they probably decided to back them up.
I kind of find that funny. I see this plenty of times. People always build on top of the games they know and love.
Right.
But instead of making a brand new one, like actually right now, what's kind of popular, I think still is, Someone made a mod for Mario 64
Yes.
to make it online playable.
Uh-huh.
I think it's up to like 16 players. Oh, you need 60 players in one stage. They're just fooling around, having fun. This is something that's not someone didn't just make a new game. They're just building on top of accomplished game.
Right.
So to me, that's kind of interesting, but a little weird. If you're creative, make your own stuff. Because what's going to happen is these companies are going to take you down.
Yeah.
Look at how many times have you heard some Pokemon mod or
Right.
Pokemon spin-off
But now
gets taken down by Nintendo?
But now, how many times have you seen or heard of people that said, how did you get to make this video game? Let's say it's some AAA game or whatever, very popular. There's a couple of them I just can't go off the top of my head. And then they're saying, well, got you into video games. Well, I started by making mods of Elder Scrolls, Oblivion, or Skyrim, or fucking Minecraft, or whatever the case may be. Mods of whatever
muted for
games.
some reason.
Right, huh? What's
Hello?
that?
I can kind of hear something now. Hello?
Yeah. Are you disconnecting, sir?
I don't think so. I don't see anything about disconnecting.
So
from my
what
computer.
happened with hello? You couldn't hear me?
Yeah, I couldn't hear you for like a good 20 seconds.
You were breaking out too. Anyways.
Oh.
So yeah, people make mods all the time and then they go on to develop great games. I mean, you got to start somewhere. What you're basically saying is like, oh, these people should just create like their own stuff. Yeah, that's true. A lot of people do create their own stuff, but a lot of people create mods, and after mods they get the skills. Oh shit, now I know how to do this, now how to do that. Now I create my own stuff. I think one of these indie games, I don't think it was Super Meat Boy, but one of these big other popular indie games, the creator started off with a mod before he created his own IP. So you got to start somewhere.
Making a mod is nothing like making a game, though. A mod is just.
I know,
adding
but
on top of something.
you're getting tools. You're getting to know the process of it.
I think it's way too high level. To make an actual game is much more intense. Unless you're using something that helps you make games. I'm aware of stuff that's out there, but I haven't used it. But
Yeah.
the idea is that you have at least creative flow going through you.
Right. Just because you haven't done it yourself doesn't mean that these people are documented on documentaries and even on YouTube. They said, "Oh, I started off this." They record all their process and with mods, whatever mod it is, and you see them develop their hit indie games. You gotta start somewhere. I mean, I know what you're saying that. Oh, why are these people just kind of making Sonic? Why don't they make something else? But hey, look, they made Sonic. Sega and Sonic team were like all happy about it. They took a chance, and now the Sonic Mania, was it Metacritic had it at 84%, which is really well for very well for a game that, it's just a 16-bit throwback to that era.
I don't think this is 16-bit means it's going to be lower ratings or anything. It's
No,
retro gaming is popular.
yeah, but it's doing very well in sales. It was a number 1 on Amazon. I think it still is a top 10. So it's not that bad.
Actually, I was at a store, and there was a kid asking the employee for Sonic Mania. I didn't butt in at all, but I was gonna say that game is mostly just
digital,
Unless
it's the collectors. Yeah, they had the
So-
collector's edition at a Target. Somebody posted it here in Florida. I don't know what city in Florida, but they up until the week of release or the week after release, they still had a couple copies of the collector's edition on shelves.
Yeah, that rarely happens though.
Yeah. So overall, you haven't finished Sonic Mania, but you're liking it?
Yeah, and to be honest, I've been focusing more on Final Fantasy. So
Yeah. Did you want to bring up something in the video game world?
actually related to Final Fantasy,
Okay.
because I did finish Mario Rabbids, and I know I'm kind of glazing through that, but that game is.
Did you
if
finish it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good.
I can tell you. I can tell you right now, if
Uh-huh.
it wasn't for Zelda Breath of the Wild, that game would be Game of the Year for me.
Are you serious?
That's how good it is.
No
But
fucking way.
sadly, it came out the year of a Zelda game. So I guess it'll be number 2 on my list for. We're getting to the end of the year, and when we come up with our own list of the best games, there's gonna be no surprise to have Zelda's number 1, but Mario Rabbids is likely gonna take spot number 2.
Yeah, I've been listening to people on YouTube and other medias talk about Mario Rabbids. A lot of them love it. A lot of them are like, yeah, it's all right. But I'm surprised at the overall reaction. It's very positive. Like a lot of people are really loving this game.
It's a big hit. It's a sleeper hit. I would say like people didn't expect this, and it's really good. But obviously, highly recommended to people. It's no online play, but it's a lot of single player fun.
I just don't think it's worth the $60. Nintendo should have put it like for like 40 or something.
No, it's worth 60. It's I played it for 25 hours just doing the story, so it's definitely worth 60. There's games that have like 10 hours and they're still charging 60. This game is worth 60. I'm gonna play more than 25 hours too. I'm gonna do a bunch of the other stuff. I actually probably will try to play this game to completion, like as in completion as 100% get everything in the game, because that's how much fun I had with it.
What do you mean get everything? Nintendo still doesn't have achievements.
Yeah, I'm talking about there's challenges in the game and stuff. There's more stuff to do outside the story. That's what I'm planning to do.
Speaking of achievements, there was an article I read about a developer who's working on the Switch. He kind of let it out. He fucked up in letting it out that Nintendo is going to be finally releasing achievements for the Nintendo Switch. People have been asking Nintendo to do achievements since the Wii, and then the Wii U came out. There were no achievements, and so the developer then went back and said, "No, I don't know about it." Tried to cover his tracks and saying no, that it wasn't achievements that he was talking about, but he clearly fucked up. If I find a developer, I'll tweet about it. But it just seems legit. It makes sense. People want achievements. Sony has it, Microsoft has it. And finally, Nintendo's releasing it on the Switch.
Honestly, I personally, at first I cared when it first came out, and then later on I'm like, yeah, fuck this, I don't care.
A lot of people still like it. Yeah, I know you don't care, but I'm on the boat. Like sometimes I do care about it. I'm like, oh shit. Like if it's a game I really like, I'm like, oh shit, I'll play it again to see how many achievements I can unlock.
It does nothing for you.
It's bragging rights, sir. I can say, look at this, motherfucker. I got.
No, it'd be better bragging rights if I got like unlock some kind of player avatar or something. No, it's just nothing.
Possibility. You never know. Nintendo likes to give their own spin. They're going to be like, okay, this is our achievements, but we're going to do something different, and they're going to announce the different thing. Maybe it might be an extra player or an extra character. Who knows? Nintendo always likes to one-up the other competitors. Good thing is that they're actually releasing it now. It's basically confirmed because of that developer who kind of fucked it up, ruined it.
Yeah, we'll see. But back to what I was actually going to mention.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah. So I'm playing it through. I'm probably get close to the 25-hour mark as well. But there was a quest in the game that dealt with cup noodles. And I'm like surprised to see this. This is like a real thing.
Noodles?
No, okay. So it's a specific brand of noodles, cup noodle.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of sponsors in that game.
Yeah, I see this. I'm like,
yeah, it's a lot of sponsors.
The mission's about, and he talks about why cup noodles is awesome, how he loves noodles, and then
your connection is cutting out. So if anything happens, I'll just try this. I'll call you again. But go ahead. It's better now.
Actually, call me again because you sound like a robot anyway.
Oh Jesus! Hold on. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So you were talking about the sponsor in the game, the cup noodles.
Yeah, basically, there's a branded, food material here, and I'm like, you're talking about how good the noodles are, and then there's a quest about getting an ingredient for the cup noodles.
Uh-huh.
I'm just thinking to myself, why is there an ad in a game I fully paid for?
That game was many years in the making. I guess a lot of games are doing that to recover their budget.
No, fuck that. They are making their money. They're just wanting more money.
Exactly, that too. They're getting money from the sponsors. There's a ton of sponsors. There was even sponsors from that company that makes tents at Walmart, Coleman or whatever the fuck.
The what?
Coleman. They make fucking sleeping bags and shit, outdoor stuff. I don't know. One of these companies. They're a sponsor in the game.
Okay, I'm cool with like, okay, you're a sponsor, and maybe you're attached in some way, like professional gaming scene or something. But when you're talking about in game, your advertising, I don't think that has any place in there. Especially, not especially if you paid fully for the game. I don't want no sponsor advertisement in my
I
shit.
bet you wouldn't say that if Nintendo was following that route.
No, I would say the same thing. If the game was discounted, if the game was discounted, if the game was discounted or free, fine, put advertisement in it. But I paid full price for the game. I don't expect advertisement. I'm not like I know you're thinking, oh, he's a little Nintendo fanboy. I like Nintendo a lot, but if they do something stupid, I'll say it.
Mm. Then you should have said that Mario Rabbids is overpriced.
No, I told you why it wasn't. I paid it for 25 hours, the story, just like any other game. You could play South Park and that's like 10 hours, and you're paying fully for that price. Why would I pay full price for a 10-hour game?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I have nothing to say about that
Because I haven't played the South Park game.
because you got served.
You son of a bitch. So are you almost done with the game?
Final Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I have not even checked how long it is, so I'm like in the level 30s, close to 40. So to me, that means I'm probably getting closer. So we'll see.
I don't know. Maybe not. So Nintendo Direct, did you see it?
Yeah,
What'd you think?
it was great.
Great.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Well, the social media disagrees with you. Mario's nipples trended.
Dude, the Mario nipple thing, that to me is overly offensive. And because of that, I'm not getting that game.
Why are you offended by Mario's nipples?
Because I wish they were my nipples on the game.
Oh, I see.
I'm kidding. That is not. I heard people getting offended by that. I'm like, really? It's a fucking game, and who gives a fuck if Mario has shirtless running around the beach? He wants to get a tan. Let him get a tan. He doesn't need to be in his plumber's freaking outfit on the freaking beach. So
The only complaint I've seen is just the fact that he has no body hair and he's Italian.
He probably shaved or Peach shaved him.
He got waxed.
Yeah, he got waxed by Peach, his princess. But yeah, okay. So you start off. What did you like about the Nintendo Direct?
The things that I'm looking forward to is Octopath Traveler. They told you about the demo. I downloaded it. I'm super excited for the game now. I can't wait to get it next year.
So you played the
It comes
demo.
out. Yeah.
And how can you compare that to a game, or can you tell us about it?
It's hard to compare to the game. Looks like a traditional JRPG, like an old Final Fantasy game. It's made by Square Enix.
Right.
They do something called 2HD, so it's not like a traditional 8-bit game. It has a 3D effect on it as well, and all these effects going on, like sparks and magic spells and stuff going. That's what I mean by effects. And okay, fine, but there's 8 different characters in the game you could pick to play with.
Right.
Each one have their own abilities that could affect the story or the gameplay. Example, one of the players you could play, or characters you could play in the demo, is a warrior, and his whole thing is he could duel anybody in the game. Like there's an old lady in the village, go duel her and you go beat her up. And it affects the story in some degree, supposedly. I mean, the demo, I didn't see it, but I kind of saw it. I did spar with some youngsters in the game for that guy's storyline. Basically, when you duel somebody, they just get knocked out. In the presentation, the Nintendo Direct, they kind of showed you that, you couldn't get past this area because NPC doesn't let you. He says, you can't go through here. Duel him, knock him out, and then go in. It's not stopping you no more. Game is, has a lot more freedom in the world now. You can do more things, and that's him. And there's the other one already revealed, and that's in the demo. It's this lady, and all she does is seduce people. And you have them join your party because you seduced them, or you could use them, or you could get them to open up stuff for you or let you in or something. So the way you want to play the game is you pick whatever character you want to play. Probably why it's called Octopath because it's 8 characters, and they have their own ways to change the game. And so to me, it's and just the fighting system is kind of your typical fighting system with an added on, built on something called battle points. I think it was called.
Right.
It basically the more successful hits you have, more battle points you have, and you can use battle points to really knock out your opponent. It gives you more strength in your. As far as I've seen, I think it probably does more effects later on in the game, but your strikes mean more. They hit for more.
That sounds interesting. I might check out the demo.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. It's
But I'm not gonna say Nintendo Direct was from last week was amazing just because of that little demo.
I just won, and then Xenoblade Chronicles. I'm excited for that one.
That one does look interesting. And that's on my list on my wish list for games that I will eventually buy, probably day one for the Switch. Since there's besides Breath of the Wild, there isn't a big RPG except for this one coming up, the Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Some of they fit
Mario Rabbids. You kind of
yeah,
consider
yeah,
RPG.
fuck that. That's not a real RPG. It's more like a strategy game. But traditional RPG, Xenoblade Chronicles seems like they just focus a lot on these like mini games and stuff like that, which kind of threw me off a bit.
Wait, for what?
Xenoblade Chronicles. It seemed like they were focusing on like side quests or little gimmicky mini games and shit.
No, they're just talking about there's 2 types. There's a blade and what's the other one? A blade and there's just 2 types of characters.
Well, yeah, no, that was fine with, and that actually seems pretty cool. It's blade and starts with an A, right? Yeah, something.
Yeah, it's a fighter type.
Yeah, so that I was cool with, but there was something else that just threw me off. I just can't remember right now, and I saw the whole shit last week. I should have seen it again, but that was okay. Yeah. I wasn't disappointed in Xenoblade. What else intrigued you?
Obviously, there's Mario.
Yeah, there's Mario. That's it. That's the only thing that was that I would say about the whole Nintendo Direct that I was looking forward to. That's it. Like Mario. That's it. Nothing else.
Well, they mentioned Samus that was coming out. There's a bunch of 3DS games they're talking about.
But that's the thing. Why are they still focusing? I know they're still focusing on 3DS because it's selling, but they already have the Nintendo Switch, which is just portable. Why not just focus on that?
You don't have to focus on just one thing. This is a cheaper option than 3DS, and something it has a huge game library. Why not, leverage that?
Are you going to get the Samus Returns?
Yeah, eventually I'll get it. Another thing they even talked about it was the Mario Party Top 100. That kind of seems cool. That's another thing that's interesting.
But that won't be out this year. That won't be out this year. Is that correct?
I can't remember the date because I'm not planning to get it right away. But I think it's holiday, or maybe even next year. But it'll be soon.
Yeah, the Nintendo Direct. I was not overly thrilled. They didn't really have anything else to announce besides Mario. That's catch my attention. One
thing that I was a little disappointed on.
You disappointed on Nintendo? Oh shit! Drum roll. Go ahead.
No, I could be disappointed in anything I like. So, WWE has a game, WWE 2K18, coming out.
Yes.
It's coming out next month to PlayStation and Xbox, and I think even PC. I'm kind of interested in the game. I'm having my doubts or reservations because I it's kind of like it comes out every year. The thing is, every year it's not that much different. It seems like now they're adding stuff they could do backstage, a little bit more freedom. Add a bunch of characters, which is whatever. To me, people go all crazy for that. I don't care because you could download, create a roster that was created by somebody else.
Right.
So I don't push too much stock in that. But anyways, okay, cool. This looks like it'll be fun. I haven't played a 2K game in a while now, so it's about time, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
But Nintendo just said coming out the fall of 2017. no date. The 2K, when they announced it, no date. They say fall 2017. Online though, I think it was on Twitter or somewhere. They're like, oh, it'll come out the same day as everybody else. But then in the Nintendo Direct, there's no date. So what's happening with this game? I have no idea.
Nobody knows.
Because I don't pay for PSN Plus, so I'm not gonna. I'd rather actually buy the game for the Switch then because I could play online for free.
So there's no date for 2K18.
For the Nintendo Switch,
That is odd. There was a rumor originally that it was supposed to come out before the holidays this year.
we have no one said anything besides 2K, and I don't even know that's official to say that it's coming out October 17. Why are you so hesitant to say the release date for a game?
I doubt it's gonna. I mean, unless they do a quick port, they kind of announced that at E3. So E3 wasn't that long ago, and they've been working on the PlayStation 4 version and Xbox One version for almost a year or so. So I don't. If it's gonna be released in October, not on the same day as the PlayStation version, but close enough, maybe a couple weeks later or a week later, it's gonna. I have a feeling it might be a shitty port, but hopefully Nintendo's quality team avoids that.
What's not them that's working on it? It's whoever.
Yeah, but 2K Nintendo approves, has to, their quality shit, blah blah blah. You know that shit.
I don't know. The Wii had shovelware.
Yeah, a lot of it.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I'm not gonna pre-order this game or nothing. I actually, we can even talk about the pre-ordering bonus for Wii, but which is basically you pre-order, you get it earlier. I think that's BS. Also,
you get it earlier with no
like
fucking
4 days
release
earlier.
date.
Well, I'm talking about the Xbox and
Oh,
PlayStation 4.
okay, yeah.
I don't like that. Like, just pre-order. Okay, fine. Give me something stupid. I don't care. But releasing the game earlier for pre-ordering, that's kind of bullshit.
But wait, is it digital pre-orders or is it actual physical, or both?
I'm not sure if it's physical or digital only. Because there's some deluxe version, all this crap, the usual stuff they do.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And the whole pre-release thing is, to me, I'm being very cautious about this game. I'll see how it does. I'm interested in the Wii Switch version mostly because I could play online.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens. I'm not gonna pre-order it or buy it on release date. I'm gonna give it a little bit.
For the 2K18.
Yep.
What do you think of the Nintendo Direct showing id Software's Doom for the Switch?
Oh yeah, that's another major announcement. So basically, Bethesda is on board here. They're gonna release Doom
and Elder Scrolls. Finally has a date, right? I think there was a date. I just don't remember now. It was October or something like that.
I think it was November. I'm not planning to buy it. That's why I don't remember the date.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's
I'm not gonna. I own it on the PlayStation 4, and I used to own it on the PS3. So I'm gonna pass on the Switch because I'm not gonna keep buying a 6-year-old game repeatedly. Like I think Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim must have the record for the most re-releases of a game in history. They've released that shit on every freaking console over the past 6 years.
Resident Evil is gonna be competition for that.
I think they're close. They're like neck and neck then. But damn, like how many more versions of Skyrim are they gonna release? Holy shit! I'm still waiting. I mean, I would be surprised if there's one coming out for mobile phones if there isn't one already, like a toned down version. But damn, dude, I don't see the only reason I would recommend you getting it is because A, is a great game. It's really a good game. A lot of people never finish it because it's so epic and just fucking vast at the amount of shit that you can do in that game. But if you never played it, definitely get it on the Switch. You have some perks. I think they said you can use some amiibos to get Link in it. Or something like that.
His costume.
Yeah, a bunch of stuff like that. And even if you have played it and you really, really want to, I guess you can always get it if you played it before. But I'm personally not getting it.
The benefit is that it's portable. So it's the first time you can play it.
Right. So you can probably this time finish it because a lot of people complain like, man, I'm busy traveling and this and that, and I cannot finish Skyrim because I'm always busy. Well, now you don't have an excuse. You can just take it with you.
The story isn't actually that long. But
right.
I guess people do everything else.
It's the side quest. Yeah.
which that's also actually infinite. There's always going to be new
There's
quests that pop up.
Yep. Always.
So,
But
and then
yeah.
Wolfenstein 2, they're going to support it when it comes out next year.
I was disappointed on that because it said, okay, we're gonna release Wolfenstein 2, but that's okay. So Doom, they showed a little bit of Doom. It looks sort of close to the PlayStation 4 version. Somebody analyzed the video online and said the textures are not as sharp as the PlayStation or PC version. Obviously, the Nintendo Switch is like a PlayStation 3.5. It's not full PlayStation 4 graphics, but it's not PlayStation 3 graphics. I think it's more like a in between, like 3.5. So it's not going to do the high res textures that a Xbox One or PlayStation 4 can do. That's everybody knows that. But it's neat that you can actually play Doom or at least some PlayStation 4 games on the Switch, portably. How Bethesda did it. Bethesda, must have obviously got help from Nintendo to port it, and it looked smooth, and that's what matters. It's a fun game. So.
Yeah, I mean, Wolfenstein's not even out yet, system or nothing. So, but the fact that they're supporting it to that level is awesome. Like Capcom, who's a traditional Nintendo partner, isn't doing shit.
They're not doing anything.
And then we have,
they're not really supporting, except for the Super Street Fighter 2 HD remix they released on digitally. I think
that's it.
That's about it that they have planned until for the foreseeable future.
Right, and then we get all these other, this other not traditional Nintendo partner releasing all these games for it, which is, well, someone's on board for sure.
Yeah, certainly. But yeah, the Wolfenstein. I don't know how they're gonna do that. Because when they showed it on E3, the graphics were just freaking beautiful for that game on the PC and PlayStation 4. So the Nintendo Switch version, I know whenever that comes out, it's to me it's gonna suffer. But at least it's portable. I guess that's what matters. And people get to play it, those that don't have a PC or PlayStation 4. So, anything else you want to add to the Nintendo Direct?
No, that's about it.
That's about it. All right. Anything else gaming related?
No.
All right. So you want to talk about Google or and Apple?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, Apple's conference was last week, and they announced their usual yearly things like the iWatch or Apple Watch. I have one. I have the Series 1, but with the processor from the Series 2. I use it daily, so I love the Apple Watch. But I'm not gonna go right ahead and jump and get this one, because this one's basically, the selling point is that it's actually a phone now. You don't need your phone in your pocket to use the Apple Watch. Now you can actually make calls and send texts, and actually uses its own data plan or mobile phone plan. But that's, to me, that's I don't need that, because most people, why are you gonna have most people take their phone everywhere. Why leave the phone at home? I just didn't. I didn't like that. Then they showed their what was it they showed? What was the next thing? Fuck it, I forgot.
Watch.
Huh?
Did not watch this Apple.
No. I know, because you have a hate for Apple. And then the big thing is the iPhone. They showed the iPhone 8, all its features. They actually skipped the 7S. They usually go like number, then the following year they do the S. They skipped it. And I have an idea as to why, and some people online already kind of agreeing with that idea. And then they announced the big and all-powerful 10, because it's the 10th anniversary. So they said they had to do something for the 10th year anniversary of the release of the iPhone, and they announced that. So, do you want to add anything about that, or do you want me to talk about the features?
You can bore people with the features. Go ahead.
Bore people. So the features are features that Android has had for 2 years. So LG and Samsung 2 years ago released wireless charging. You just put the phone on the pad and it charges. So iPhone 8 is going to have wireless charging, using the same as they call it, Qi wireless chargers that the Samsung, LGs, and any other Android phone uses. So that's good. You don't have to buy their own. You don't have to buy Apple's own wireless charger. You could use the ones that are existing in stores now. And the iPhone 10 is going to use the same technology, wireless charging. So that's a perk. What else? Besides the iPhone 8, I'm not going to touch too much on that. The big selling gimmick for the iPhone 10 was that it has no home button. Has no buttons except for the power button, which is on the side, from what I can tell. And everything is controlled with the camera on the front, which they call it Face ID. Scans your face, boom, your phone's unlocked. They say it's a lot better and safer than the fingerprint ID. So that's the selling points. Now, Samsung, I remember earlier this year, Samsung, for when they were announcing the S8, their Galaxy S8, Samsung had like a facial feature. And when somebody went to test it and they took a picture of themselves and put the picture in front of the phone unlocked it. So Samsung, they were like, that's not safe because somebody can take a picture of me. And Samsung had to backtrack and kind of like, kind of remain hush-hush on that feature. While Apple said that, no, you can put a face, you can put a picture, you can put that. It will not unlock it. It only works with your actual face. So that's a good selling point. Even though people are going to bitch and say, oh, Apple's always late. But you know what? They're late and they make it right. I'd rather something be late and work than have Samsung Galaxy S8 with you put a picture of somebody's face and boom, it unlocks the phone. What kind of shit is that? That's not secure. You got nothing to say, sir?
I think the face unlock thing is weird.
Why?
I also don't like the information of my face being stored somewhere.
Apple said that just like the fingerprint ID, it stays in the phone.
Yeah, my ass stays on the phone.
Right, exactly. But Apple says, and dude, if Apple won't unlock a phone for a terrorist, that stupid terrorist thing that happened 2 years ago in California, that they were like, the FBI wanted to unlock it, and they said, "Fuck you, we're not unlocking it." For that to me shows trust, and I trust Apple when they say that the fingerprint ID stays on the phone. There's a chip which people take apart phones. The chip is, I forgot the name of it. Keeps everything internally. They don't put it on the cloud or anything like that. Same thing with the Face ID. I'm pretty sure you would be okay with the Face ID if Nintendo Switch comes out with it. You'd be like, oh, Nintendo did it, so that's cool.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Oh, shit. So, yeah, a lot of... It's expensive, though. $1,000 for the fucking iPhone 10. That is...
We're gonna do... It's basically buying a computer now.
Pretty much. I mean, for $200 more, you can buy a MacBook. The MacBook is like what, $1,200-$1,300?
I don't know. Never looked into buying one, but yeah.
Yeah, it's about that price. It's almost that price. And then the 256 gigabyte iPhone 10 is $1,150. Fucking insane.
Remember when we used to buy phones that cost like $100?
Yeah, dude. I remember.
And they did the job.
Yeah, but all they did back then was just text and make phone calls. No internet, nothing, no apps.
No
games.
Couldn't live back then.
Fuck. And well, now and then actually.
Let me say this. I bought the iPhone when it first came out, like on release date.
Yeah, it was $699. I was working for AT&T back then. I remember the price.
Yeah, and I thought that was crazy, but I paid for it.
Right.
I guess this is something new and innovative. I liked it. And then I got the next one. I forget which was the next. It took me years.
I
to
think
upgrade.
you got the 5.
I think it was the 4 actually. I'm not remembering.
Maybe it was the 4. Maybe you're right.
I held out for years. The only reason I upgraded is because it forced me to. Like the iOS updates
wouldn't
slowed
work
down my phone.
Yeah.
By a lot. So I was basically forced to get the 4. And then the same shit was happening again. I'm like, fuck you, Apple. I'm not buying another phone again when I want to. So I switched to Android. And I held off for quite a while on the next one. I had a Moto X. And then I'm on my second Samsung now.
You're on your second
But
Samsung? What do you have now?
Sorry. My first Samsung. This is my second Android.
What do you
That's why
have?
it's
What Samsung?
S6 Edge Plus.
Sir, you're like 2 years behind. We're at the S8 now.
No, I don't give a fuck about the S8. I have. It's not a huge difference between the 6 and the 8. I actually don't want to buy another Samsung after this one.
Oh shit! You're jumping on back to the iPhone bandwagon.
No, so I'm happy with the Android in general. It's because Android's more open to other companies, and it's not. all just
They're open
Apple.
to third-party apps. That's it, and the whole hacking. It's easier to hack on Android. That's the major selling point. Third-party apps and all those little features.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't like the fact that the battery is embedded in the phone. Like I can't remove it and buy a new battery.
Because they force you to buy a new phone.
Right. So, and I already see it. This phone the battery is not as good as it used to be. It's only been close to 2 years. So I'm like, going to have to upgrade again, and I don't want to get another stupid Samsung phone and pay like $800. The reason I went for the 6 is because it was cheaper. It was like $600 at the time. I was not willing to spend more than $600 on a phone, basically.
Right.
I thought it was ridiculous to buy an 8 for like what $800 or whatever, $900.
So let me ask you, what is your next phone? You have anything on the horizon?
No, I think I could last maybe another year with this phone. When the battery's like total shit, then I'll have to switch.
So you have no phone. You have no idea of your next phone yet. You haven't even thought about it.
Whatever phone I get would have to be a phone where I could replace the battery myself without hassle.
LG's,
Maybe another Motorola, or
LG's
maybe-
is, I don't know about the new LG, but the previous LGs allowed you to change the battery, I believe.
You still can. So
Okay,
yes,
good.
LG is another option.
Motorola can
And-
you can no wait, Motorola I don't think you can anymore. I don't think.
And
you
I know Google released a phone where you can. So Google has their own phone.
What about that company that makes powerful phones at an affordable price, OnePlus? I think you can remove the battery on that. Or
Yes, you can. That's another one I was thinking too.
yeah, I've heard good things
So-
about it, and it's not very expensive.
Right. So unlike with Apple, I'd just be stuck with Apple. But with Android, I could go through any of these other people because I want a phone a certain way. So that's what I like about the Android market. I'm not. I don't. You said I hate Apple. I said I don't hate them. It's just I don't like the whole. It has to be internal only. Is only Apple.
That's how they've
It's-
always done it, even from back when they
No, I
started
know.
in their market, the PC market.
I understand. That's not for me.
Yeah, I hear you, sir. I'm still your friend, even though you have Android.
Word.
Jumping into movies. I'm gonna before we talk about it. I'll talk about something else. So, you do know, Javier, that they're doing a reboot of Hellboy,
The TV show?
Hellboy the movies.
No. They're making a TV show. I thought.
No, it's a movie. It's a movie. So
They're making a movie.
I guess you don't know much about it. So, Del Toro tried to make Hellboy 3. That didn't happen. He said he's done. The studio said, okay, we're gonna do a reboot. They got the director Neil Marshall, who's I've seen almost all his movies. They're pretty good movies. I enjoy them all. He did Dog Soldier. It's about werewolves in the early 2000s. And he did Doomsday. He did The Descent. He directed a couple episodes of Game of Thrones. So he's big in the horror, action community. So he's directing Hellboy. He said it's going to be R-rated, gritty. After the success of Logan and Deadpool, now they're doing an R-rated Hellboy.
Wait a second.
Uh-huh.
Is Del Toro okay with this?
Del Toro's no longer involved.
I know, but how does he feel about them remaking it?
Oh, I read some couple things. He was not happy with it. Ron Perlman said that he does not want to be involved in it. He doesn't want to do even a cameo. He's backing his best friend Del Toro. They've been best friends since that Kronos movie in the early 90s.
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. This movie's gonna bomb.
It seems like it will, but
You are going against the creator of the. Well, I said the creator.
Wait, he didn't create it. Mike Mignola, who created the comic book, is
Yeah.
in full support of the movie because he said that now the movie will be more in line to his comic book, which the comic book is R-rated material.
yeah, I should be careful what I said. But what I'm trying to say is, there's fans of that movie,
Right.
and it's a successful movie franchise.
Yes.
The guy was continuing with his vision.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want that vision. So, and then you're getting the actor who everybody associates Hellboy with,
Right.
not supporting it either. So you're gonna have plenty of fans who are gonna actually blackball this movie too.
Oh, I know that. There's, the internet is full of people that are just trolls, and they're already trolled the movie, but there are people that are kind of pro the movie because the actor from Stranger Things, the cop, he's the tall cop, he's gonna play Hellboy, and the picture of him was released last week on social media, on Twitter and Facebook, in costume, in Hellboy costume, and to be honest, it looks pretty good. Very close to Ron Perlman, not much of a difference, just a little bit more muscular. The horns look a little different, but other than that, it's just Hellboy. His right arm is that freaking claw thing. I'm pretty sure you'll Google it now or after this recording is done, and you'll see it. But the big backlash came with the villain. So there's a villain in the comic book that's going to be in the movie called Major Ben Daimyo. He's Japanese American. Okay, so whitewashing, yes. Remember the whitewashing incident with Ghost in the Shell?
And also gods of
Right.
Egypt.
So it's now on Hellboy because Major Ben Daimyo is Japanese American, and the actor they had selected was the villain of Hellboy. I'm sorry, the villain of Deadpool, Ed Shrieken, whatever. I don't even know how to say his name. Scarin. So Ed Scarin got a lot of heat on social media, and I guess he got scared of it, or his agents got scared of the producers. So he said, "You know what? I'm backing away. I'm not gonna take the part." And they finally casted an Asian American from the TV show Lost, and he was currently on Hawaii Five-0, Daniel Dae Kim. Now, looking at that name, yes, he's Korean. So even though he's Asian, people are still like, oh, he's Asian, so we're going to allow it. But, dude, he's not Japanese American. If you're going to whitewash or boycott something or troll something, why don't you troll it all the way? Like, to me, it just makes no sense. The whole...
I wouldn't call it trolling, but basically, people complained, and the studio's like, oh shit, people are complaining, let's change it. And
yeah, but they
anyway.
should have not done that. They should have kept it the same way. Look, not everything has to be exactly like the source, and that's the thing about the whole Ghost in the Shell. We discussed Ghost in the Shell months ago, dude. When Hollywood takes something and they take apart, they take a property, they're gonna put people that are gonna put seats in that fucking auditorium. They're gonna put named actors. Yeah, the villain of Deadpool is not a named actor, but maybe the producers or the director liked him enough to get him. Maybe he, his acting was better than any Japanese or Asian actor out there. Daniel Dae Kim is not a bad actor. I've seen him in, Lost. He was great in Lost, but there's a reason why they got that Ed guy, and
dude,
I just don't like that because
this is basically what it comes down to. The role is for a specific race. Like, no, that race is not what sells tickets for us. So we're going to specifically do a white dude. I mean, I understand it. Like, that's not how things should fly anymore. We'll do it according to what the story says, not based on because of a race. Like, that's kind of, you can see it the other way around.
Wait, so you're for them changing the white actor for an Asian?
Yeah. There's too many roles going to, like, let there be successful Asian actors. They don't have to be kung fu artists to be a successful Asian artist.
They don't, but I'm not saying, look, I'm not against it.
They don't. Name me one Asian actor who's not into kung fu.
Who is not into kung
fu? Yeah, that's famous.
Daniel Wu, Daniel Dae Kim,
I don't know them,
Jackie Chan.
Yeah, you can't say Jackie Chan. You can't say Jet Li. Blah blah
look,
blah.
I'm not. I'm all for people of all races playing characters. That's not what my point is. My point is that my point is that Hollywood starts listening to people online because oh no, that character is a black character in the comic book. He has to be black. He's an Asian actor in the comic book. He has to be Asian. He's a Scottish person in the comic book. He has to be Scottish. If they do that and they go and they don't allow the people that they want to fill these roles, then they're never gonna make the movie. They're always gonna like follow what the fans want, and not everything has to be. What I'm saying is that not everything has to be what the fans want. The fans will grow to like it. They got heat from Heath Ledger. Oh shit, I think he's a terrible Joker. Guess what? They gave him a chance. And the movie came out. He was an amazing Joker. They should have given
different scenario.
Well, he's a great actor, but still, I'm just using that as an example.
No, that wasn't even nothing about race.
No, it wasn't. You're right. But people there still gave him heat. I just don't see the point in it. Like they should have fucking left the fucking guy there. And
the heat is on the heat was created by the studios because all they do is hire these big white actors or actresses.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
I'm gonna put something here. The movie Ghost in the Shell, if it was a Japanese or Asian person, it still would have sucked. It still would have not made any money. I'm pretty.
No, I agree with that.
I don't think it had to do anything with the whitewashing because the movie, wasn't. It wasn't a movie that attracts general.
That's
audiences.
not my point. That's not my point. My point is you got to stop. They create their own heat because they only hired this and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, there's other people who could do the role. They don't have to be this person or this race. Like, go outside your boundaries. Like, this is like the whole house market. Like this is like an example. Like, usually a black neighborhood is a lot cheaper to live in. Why is this kind of shit happens? Because what happened back in the day, this shit shouldn't exist anymore.
You're right.
It shouldn't matter about what race lives where or what race could do what job. Just get the person who's best for the job. Don't go based off some stat that there's more white people or something like this. Hire someone, be open, and hire someone who's perfect for the role. I'm going to give you an example here. James Bond, because it's been kind of in the news here and there. What's his name?
Idris Elba.
Forget race.
He's a badass motherfucker, though. He's fucking awesome in everything he does.
Yeah, okay, but forget race. Can he do the role as an actor?
Yes.
Is he a good fit?
Yes, he is. I'm all for a black James Bond. Yeah, especially that guy.
It shouldn't even be a discussion here. We shouldn't be talking because he's black. He can't be James Bond. It should be. It could if it wants. We can't be a woman.
But wait. Here's the thing. They were thinking about it, and it was just thrown in the air. Let's make James Bond a woman. Now that I was against because first of all, James Bond is a man. James fucking Bond. Now, if you want to do a female spy, hey, you're more than happy to do female spies. There's probably dozens of movies that have been with female spies. Some of them may be successful, not as successful as Bond, but they've had some success. There's no reason to make James Bond a woman because it's fucking James Bond.
You could even do this. Because the name, that's why I say don't use a woman. But what if and he has a daughter with some girl.
Right.
And he could be, Vanessa Bond. That's fine.
That's fine. Fuck it. He's fucked so many women. I'm surprised none of his kids are knocking on his door and saying, "Hey, Daddy, I'm your kid."
Exactly. It's easy to set up. It's so easy.
It's very easy.
The guy sleeps around all the fucking time.
Yeah.
So
he fucks women all over the world.
Vanessa Bond. There she goes.
Vanessa Bond. Wow, you're stuck on that name. It can't be another name. It has to be Vanessa.
You know what? I go with Vanessa.
How about Jasmine? Like, keep it in the same letters. J B. Jasmine Bond.
J and B are not the same letter.
I mean, like the dad, James Bond.
Oh, J. Yeah, you can do that, or I don't know what's another good J name.
Look, the whole point with the Hellboy thing is that if they would have cast from the very beginning, hey, look, Daniel Day Kim is gonna play Major Ben. Fine, perfect. Oh shit, he's Asian. Okay, even though he's Korean, he's not Japanese. Which that's the thing. People are if you're gonna go with something, go with it all the way. They should have said no. They should have gone with a Japanese actor.
That's another thing.
That's what
go
pisses
for the
me
Chinese
off.
market.
Right. That's
they
what
go for the
pisses me
Chinese market, but they give all these big roles. These big Asian, like Chinese actors, like some minor role, and they expect it to be a hit in China. Like I don't get that either. Like Transformers is a big hit in China. Who cares? At that point, they're just robots.
Well, to be honest, I don't know what's gonna happen with the Transformers. This last Transformers didn't do as well as the first four.
Well, fucking shit.
Did you see it?
I get stopped after the second one.
Okay. I'm gonna watch it eventually when it comes out on demand. I think it's coming out in a couple of weeks, and I'll give my input on it. But yeah, I just see the franchise it's like almost dead. I mean, I'm sure they're gonna make another one because they have the Bumblebee one that's currently filming and it's taking place in the 80s. But yeah, I'm going off topic. My point was that the whole
by the way, John Cena's gonna be in that movie.
yeah, he is gonna be in that movie. And Bumblebee is gonna be a Volkswagen, just like the animated series from the 80s. But going back to on track to Hellboy, if my thing was that the people online that the studio caved and listened to the fans, and I was not okay with that. Because then if they listen to this, if they do it, if they allow it this time, then the next time, then they cast somebody, they're gonna do the same thing and the same thing, and you know, it's always pleasing these people. You can't, no, fuck it, make the movie and that's it. If people want to watch it, they watch it. If they don't, they don't. Fuck it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
So, fuck that shit. Let's go to Stephen King's It. Did you see it?
Yeah, I watched it opening weekend.
Yeah, I didn't because I had fucking Hurricane Irma, bitch, around here.
Could have watched the movie during the hurricane.
Yeah, I know. I should have gone outside. 120 mile an hour winds. What are your thoughts on it?
Okay.
The movie, not the hurricane.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm not gonna compare it to the TV special.
It's a TV
TV
movie.
movie.
TV movie.
Right. I know it very well because of Blockbuster when we worked there.
Yeah.
That shit was rented out all the fucking time.
All the time.
Was so popular.
Mm-hmm.
That's what made me watch it because I'm like, what the hell is this? I never even knew what it was.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, people when they announced this, I kind of knew this is gonna be a hit because people just because of our experience with Blockbuster, where people rented it all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that the trailer was a big hit. Like it had the most viewed trailer in history.
Yep.
And then we've seen the money it's making now, breaking records for horror and rated R.
And September releases.
And September, all the fucking records.
Yeah.
It could break. The only thing it didn't break was overall rated R, which is like I think held by Deadpool.
It's about the highest grossing R-rated horror movie in history till today is The Exorcist. I think The Exorcist did 240 million. This movie, they say by this weekend, will break that record.
The problem is that's not a fair comparison because you need to.
I know inflation.
You need to.
Right.
Yeah, you have to adjust.
Right.
If you adjust it, it's gonna take a little bit longer.
Yeah, if you adjusted, The Exorcist is still higher grossing, but without adjustment, without inflation, this will break that record on the weekend.
Right. So we're talking about success and all this stuff and the back history on the TV special they had on.
Mm-hmm.
But so I watched it, and knowing the source material in terms of the special, I never read the book.
You never read the novel, okay?
I know something about the novel. That's about it.
Right.
Like that one thing everybody talks about when it comes to the book.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what that is?
The hole where they do the Native American ritual.
No, something a lot more controversial.
The orgy with the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll go into that as a trivia, but you can go ahead, continue.
Well, the little boys went into it a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we'll talk about it briefly, but actually you can't ignore this. So we have to talk about this now.
Yeah, spoiler alert. I know it's a lot of people still haven't seen it. A lot of people have because it makes a lot of money. So we're going to be probably going into spoiler territory here. So go ahead.
Well, this is not a spoiler for the movie because it never happened.
It never
happened. Of course
happened.
it's not going to happen.
Okay.
Basically, in the book, like everyone who reads the book mentions this, where they're towards the end. I guess this is spoilerish. In the end, when they're in the sewer, they get lost. So their idea is they're lost because they're virgins, so they have to lose their virginity to get out.
Right.
So each boy takes turns having sex with Beverly.
Mm-hmm.
That's her name, right?
Yeah, Beverly.
Or is it Bev?
That's her.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, these guys are underage. They're what, junior high?
They're in the book. They're like 12, 13-year-olds.
So why are we having an orgy here? It was one girl is being
raped,
a total slut.
Yeah.
And I know they go into details like about the sex too. When I say they, I mean Stephen King.
Yeah.
He wrote it.
Well,
That's
let me go into that. In the 80s, Stephen King has fully said that he was high on cocaine all the time. It was 8 years of his life he was high a
so we're gonna
cocaine
blame the
addict.
drugs here.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe that's why he wrote this fucking crazy shit in the 80s. But go ahead.
Right. So that's really the big thing that people talk about when it comes to the book, like the fact that this happened. And of course, they don't do this in the movie or the TV special. How can you? This is so not accepted.
Cary Fukunaga, I think that's how his name is pronounced. He created and wrote and directed True Detective season 1 on HBO a couple years back with Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. He got writing credit on Stephen King's It, the remake, but the director Andy, I'm gonna butcher his last name, Muschietti, came in and took a lot of scenes that Cary wrote out, including the sex scenes, because the studio told Cary that would be NC-17, pornographic material, and the studio was not happy with that. So Andy went and took that scene out. And I think one of them, rumor is that he took out was the orgy scene, which is fine with me. I don't think that was necessary. The point, if for those that watched the movie, the point is well made. This is what this is what happened, and that's it.
Yeah, they don't need.
They don't need that. Yeah, it was not needed.
So, anyways, so back to the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the movie was well done. Obviously, there's things in there like still carries over from horror, because this movie didn't. This movie was trying to actually be a normal movie to some degree. Obviously, they went to the parts when they started doing horror stuff,
right?
And they still used the jump scare, which I kind of don't like in horror movies. It's really cheap. That's why I don't like it as much. I'm okay with it to some degree, but when it's
the thing is
your
that
movie's all about jump scares.
Yeah, the thing is that horror movies are always going to use the jump scare. The point is using it correctly. And what I mean, what I mean correctly is like not setting it up so quickly with the music and all this stuff that you are already expecting it. Yeah, the studio's trying to play it safe or whatever, and they want to build a suspense, but you already know it's coming. You already know it's coming. You already know it's coming. Boom, there's a jump scare. I don't like that. And this movie did that a couple times. But there's a lot of other movies that do it very often, and it becomes annoying. I didn't have an issue with that.
Yeah, I'm not
you're breaking up, or you're there's no audio.
Okay, no, I didn't hear you at all for a second there.
Okay, so
I jumped into jump scares.
Mm-hmm.
This movie does it here and there. It does try to be creepy, and obviously the clown's very creepy. That opening scene where he's in the sewers, and Georgie sees him and they have a conversation. I thought that was, even in the original TV series, that was like the best dialogue and the best portion.
I thought it was well done in this movie.
Oh yeah, very well done. The actor who plays him, I forget his
Bill
name now,
Skarsgård. Yeah, Bill Skarsgård. Yeah.
Awesome job with his facials and the way he talks.
Yeah, dude. And that
Creepy.
lip thing. He said that he actually used to do that lip thing, the bottom lip, when he was a kid with his older brothers. His older brothers are all actors in Hollywood, and he did this shit so well.
Yep.
It was fucking amazing.
I read that what's his name was up for the role as well.
There's a bunch of actors up for the role.
Mr. Anderson.
Yeah, Hugo Weaving.
Weaving was actually up for this as well.
I read that the casting director was pretty much wanted Hugo Weaving, and then the director Andy Muschietti said that Hugo can play creepy, but he doesn't have the playfulness of a clown, so that's why they didn't go with him.
Yeah, and I'm glad this is the choice they did. And so the clown is great. He's creepy.
You're cutting out again.
I liked the story.
Okay, there, you're back. Go ahead.
The story and how the clown is creepy, and yes, it's okay, whatever. But I had a story, and they finish it off. It's your typical story, a bunch of characters, they get together, they meet each other, and then there's a drop off where they're having some difficulty, and then they come back up, and then there's an ending and the climax.
Did the movie remind you a lot of these Amblin Entertainment Spielberg produced movies from the 80s, like The Goonies and a bunch of other ones? Because it had that feeling to me, and that's what I like. That's what I really loved about the movie.
I mean, it reminds me of Stranger Things.
Right, exactly. Well, Stranger Things is based off of those Amblin Entertainment movies, like fucking, inspiration from E.T., The Goonies. Those are all Amblin movies from the 80s when but it's just kids or
Yeah.
teenagers working together to progress the story. And that's what I loved about this movie. Going back to Stephen King wrote in the 80s, he was probably influenced by those movies that came out in the 80s when he wrote the book. Hence why this movie had that feeling. And that's what I enjoyed about it. I enjoyed it that the kids were the main characters in the movie, front and center. And to me, the actors were great. I had no issues with any of the actors whatsoever. I thought every single one of them did their job per what the character or script called for. I had no issues. I didn't say, "Oh man, this kid's a shitty actor." No, they're just teenagers, and teenagers are going to express themselves a certain way. So I had a blast with this movie, and it just reminded me of those movies that I grew up with. That's one thing that I really enjoyed about the movie. I enjoyed the cinematography. Who was the cinematographer for Old Boy, the Korean version, and Sympathy for Lady Vengeance. So it was a well shot movie. The music was great as well. The editing was great. It's just everything was top notch, and that's what I really enjoyed. It wasn't like a cheap, a $5 budget movie that the studios just decided to make and see if they can make a quick buck. It shows that they took their time and they took their care for this property.
Yep, and it paid off.
Yeah. So that's what. Do you have any negatives on the movie that you say, oh, maybe this was too much or this was?
Just the jump scare things, and
Yeah.
then the kids. The I forget the character's name now. I think he's in the book. He's like the main character, the black boy.
Okay.
He barely did anything really.
Yeah. I agree. He wasn't in the. I don't know about the book, and I don't recall the 1990 version of the movie much.
It's important. He's actually the one who gets them all together and stuff.
Oh well, there you go. I don't know why they didn't give him a big part. Maybe it's just Hollywood being Hollywood.
Maybe he gets a bigger part in the second one because, like I said, he gets them all together. This is when they're adults.
Well,
Obviously,
that's true.
this movie-
That's true. This movie is only them as kids. In the original 1990 TV movie, we saw both versions, kids and adults.
Right, because the book's a little weird about that. So this movie just focused on here's the kid part. Now we're gonna milk it for the second one, which is gonna be them as adults.
Yeah, they already announced it's coming out in 2019. They start filming next summer, is what I've read. They still don't have a finalized cast yet for the adults. They did ask the kid actors what adults they would like to play. Some of them were throwing, "Oh, I want Jake Gyllenhaal to play me as an adult." The redhead lady, Beverly, the actress that she said I think should get the part because the director worked with her in the movie called Mama, which came out like 3 years ago. And her name is Jessica Chastain. She was in The Martian with Matt Damon. She's the redhead. Well, she's the redhead in all the movies. She was in Interstellar with Matthew McConaughey. So since she worked with the director before, I wouldn't be surprised if she works and she comes back to do the sequel of it. But yeah, it was a great movie. Negatives for me, I don't think I have any negatives right now. I mean, I'm sure the jump scares, I would say towards the middle were kind of like redundant, But
Yeah.
Other than that, a great movie. It was surprisingly well done, and this is how horror movies should be done. Very classy, still frightening to a certain degree. It was funny too. I was laughing my ass off the whole movie. I was surprised at how funny this shit was. So, you want to quickly talk about South Park? And I know you're probably falling asleep. What'd you think of South Park?
It was funny. South Park usually goes very like topics a lot recently, and this kind of takes on that a little bit. When I say a little bit, a lot, which I'm kind of okay with. But overall, pretty funny. I did like the automations taking over people's jobs, because it's true.
Yeah. They took our jobs.
The reason I say it's true because I am a software engineer, as people might know, because I give my insight sometimes on programming for games and stuff, or process of the life cycle for development.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's true. I have had positions where the job requirement was basically working on software that would cut jobs. I remember one specifically that the whole sell point was use the software, you don't have to hire as many people.
Right.
And that's the sales pitch.
Right.
Like the main sales pitch. Like, so this is, for real.
But it's for real and it's reality. What ticks me off is that these people that protest or say, "Oh, we don't want these people coming in here because they're going to take our jobs." What jobs? You're not doing the job. Like in the South Park episode, which came out last week, clearly stated that when the character said, "You're not doing the job. We're not taking your job. You don't want to do it." And that's true. I agree with that. Even before the episode came out, I'm like, I would, in the back of my mind, when I would discuss with people, I'm like, dude, these people are not doing their jobs and they want whatever, Mexicans or anybody out of the country for what? They're not going to pick up this or do that or do this. They don't even do it to begin with. So, and they don't want to learn it. Like the episode of South Park clearly showed that these people don't want to get the training or learn it. They're just lazy.
Well, that's just targeting like certain people. There's plenty of hardworking people who are just losing their jobs.
No, of course. But again, we have to then train them. That's another topic, but the episode quickly touched on that, which I found hilarious. The way they did it, it was funny. And then the whole Alexa and Google, the Google Home, when Cartman was saying, Alexa, Simon says, kiss my ass. And Alexa would say it. It's childish humor, but it was hilarious the way Cartman does it.
Cartman's hilarious overall.
Yeah. I actually have an Alexa, and I was doing that after the episode. I was saying the words, and Alexa would say it, but then she would bleep herself out. Like, I told her to say something about bitch, and Alexa said blah, blah, blah. But then she beep over the bitch word.
When I get to your house, ask her about your shopping list.
You should ask her about all the things on my shopping list. Oh, shit. Yeah, it was funny. I liked I enjoyed it. Reality on people losing jobs and automation. How many jobs did you take, Javier, from people?
Probably thousands.
Sir, that's great.
I'm not exaggerating.
I know. I believe you, and I'm actually not disappointed because unfortunately, that's just the way the world works. Things change, and people don't. If people don't want to change, they get left behind. Simple as that.
No, I got like one of the things this could go on forever, but basically, like one of the things that offer would help is these are college educated people that would be doing the role, and they're cutting that. I'm not talking about just anything. I'm talking about overall doesn't matter where you are, unless you are specifically in like medical or lawyer or software engineering, I would be afraid because a lot of jobs could be taken over.
And that's the thing that this look, a lot of countries are working on that, especially with colleges and universities. But in this country, they don't prepare people the right way. They just say, "Oh, you want to go study this? Great, here, go study it." They don't really prepare you and saying, "Oh, yeah, you shouldn't study that because there's not a demand for that." And they're allowing these kids. They're just taking the money. It's all business. Oh yeah, give us $20,000, $50,000, whatever, $100,000 a year. Get this fucking degree, which won't mean shit when you graduate in 3 or 4 years. And that's the fucked up thing about this country. That a lot of kids are doing these fucking wacky ass degrees, and they cannot get a job because
I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to get a lot of heat for that statement.
I don't give a fuck.
I'll throw it this way.
I don't give a fuck because it's the truth. It's the fucking truth.
I'm going to throw it this way. I do think we need some regulation on the kind of jobs we take out for automation process.
Mm-hmm.
It could go from something complicated to something simple.
Right.
Simple, like mail delivery. If the government allowed it, trust me, they will not be using people anymore. They'll be using drones.
Of course. That's the way of the future.
Would they do that? Because they save money.
Exactly.
They don't have to pay somebody, and they don't have to pay your
medical
benefits.
Nothing like that. Yep, you're right.
And these are people who work hard.
But it's coming.
People in UPS do work hard.
It's coming.
And unless we stop it, it's gonna.
There's no.
we keep on bending over. We keep on bending over for the companies, so they can save
Look,
money and make more money.
I'm gonna say it right now. Anybody that's in college or about to finish high school, do not become a postman, because your job is not gonna be. Most people work for 40 to 45 years. Maybe some work 50 years of their life. You're not gonna have that job for 40 to 50 years. Don't fucking do it. If you're gonna do it, fine, but then do something else. Train, go to school, do something that is that will be there in the future. Being a postman or postwoman is not the way to go. So what you're
you have to go to college for that, but
right, but you know what I'm
yeah,
saying.
but
You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying.
be very picky on your major
You have to.
because it might not be useful later on, or it might not be as many positions as you think.
Exactly.
And that's happened to my own family, my own siblings.
Of course. People we know, your family, your friends, people I know, my family, my friends, whatever. They get these little bullshit degrees. Oh yeah, this looks fine.
I wouldn't say it's bullshit. They still worked hard on it.
Oh no,
It's
no.
just-
Look, I'm not saying.
It's
look,
not in demand.
What I'm saying is that I'm not saying their work is unrewarding. I'm saying the degree is, and they obviously they didn't think about that when they got the degree, but they're like, oh yeah, now I can't get a job. Oh, yeah, of course
No,
you
it's
can.
just schools don't inform enough. They're like,
Exactly.
oh, yeah,
that
this
was
position's
that
for
was my
this.
point in the beginning. That schools need to inform. People need to be informed that, hey, this thing is not going to be obsolete in 10 years. Why are you going to invest 4 years, 5 years, 6 years of your life for something that in 10, 15 years, 20 years is going to be obsolete? No fucking way. They don't give a shit because all they want is the money. Oh, just pay me those thousands of dollars and we'll train you for something that in 10, 20 years will not be there. That's where this fucking country is, or universities are basically in it for just for the money. They're not in it for, I've talked to people and read people.
There's too much greed going around.
Yeah, exactly. Look, in the 50s and 60s and 70s, when people went to college, the universities would tell you, well, look, these are the degrees that are going to be in the future. Nowadays, they don't do that because it's all about business now. That's what I think is wrong. But anyways, we got a little life reel there. But a lot of our listeners are young, so we just wanted to inform them. Don't be a postman. Don't be a postwoman. Do something else. Temporary, fine. Part-time, you want to, while you're going to college, fine.
Doesn't matter. The big point is,
be
careful on your major. Make sure there's a demand for it.
Exactly.
Be careful.
See, it's like for me, my major is badass, so there's always a demand for that.
Right.
Any last words before we wrap it up and before we close off, sir?
You can follow us at Bits4 You podcast.
I knew that was coming. Bits4You at gmail.com is our email, and at Bits4You podcast is our Twitter and Facebook. And that's it. We are leaving. Until next time, Javier, keep kicking ass.
Bits4You podcast.
All right, so that was the episode 34, Bits4You podcast. It was great having the partnership with Meet the Gamers. Check them out at meetthegamers.com, and you'll see their contests and be able to create a profile to connect with gamers all around the world. And next episode it's going to be with Frankie. Remember him from the Hot Toys episodes? He comes on to talk about our previous episode, I believe it was 32, titled Nintendo Go Fuck Yourself. Maybe this one will be called Nintendo Go Fuck Yourself Part 2. I don't know. I'm still thinking about that. So look forward to that. Follow us on Twitter at Bits4You Podcast. Instagram, it's Bits4You Email is bits4youpodcast at gmail.com. And keep kicking ass. Until next time.